Greetings fellow Decepticons, Sandblaster 1987 here with another mini animated special review vlog for my Star Wars month in May 2024. Today I'll be looking back at the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars special that was created specifically because basically the co-creator of the show, Dan Povenmire, the voice of Dr. Doofenshmirtz, who is also the voice of the dad from Hamster and Gretel, basically he sent a little sketch he made to the producers of the Disney higher-ups of Dr. Doofenshmirtz wearing a Darth Vader style helmet after he heard the news of Lucasfilm being acquired by Disney, thus making Star Wars a Disney acquired property. And that's basically how the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars story came about. Basically it's just a rewrite of Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, but from the perspective of if the Phineas and Ferb cast were involved. For those who don't know, Phineas and Ferb is an early 2010s Disney XD TV channel animated comedy series about two stepbrothers called Phineas Flynn and Ferb Fletcher, who live together with their older sister, well, Phineas's older sister Candace, and Phineas and Candace's mom and Ferb's dad in an as yet unverified tri-state area where the evil scientist Dr. Doofenshmirtz is forever trying to take over. However, of course, Phineas and Ferb's pet platypus, Perry, aka government agent P, is always thwarting Doofenshmirtz's plans. That's the whole premise of the sort of B story of the episodes. Basically, the Star Wars special plays out the same as any Phineas and Ferb story ever would, except obviously it's Star Wars, so the Death Star and the Empire and such like are involved. So, it starts out with Phineas and Ferb as moisture farmers on Tatooine, with Phineas dressed as Tatooine Luke Skywalker and Ferb dressed as Hermit Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it turns out that the boys actually do know both Obi-Wan and Luke as their neighbours on Tatooine. Phineas and Ferb actually get Jedi lessons from Obi-Wan, which isn't exactly the smartest thing to do, given Order 66 was a thing, but you know, obviously they had to write in some more direct Star Wars references to this episode somewhere along the line, especially after the success of their Marvel crossover, which I'll cover in another video feature on my channel, so. Meanwhile, Perry the Platypus is a Rebel Alliance spy working for Princess Leia, and has just invaded an Imperial Star Destroyer that seems to have got an office block on it for some reason, stealing the secret plans to the Death Star, and giving them to Princess Leia, who puts them inside of R2-D2. And of course R2-D2 and C-3PO end up jettisoned to Tatooine in an escape pod when the Empire invades Princess Leia's ship, and that causes Perry the Platypus to be dispatched down to Tatooine in order to keep the disc inside R2-D2 safe from the Empire. Then Phineas and Ferb end up meeting R2-D2 and he loses the disc for the Death Star plans inside of their land speeder, which apparently they've modified with pod racing engines. But yes, in addition to all of this, Perry the Platypus has got his own Dr. Doofenshmirtz counterpart in this special, Doofenshmirtz, who is basically just the normal Doofenshmirtz in a Darth Vader cosplay that can't have the complete mask because of the shape of his chin and nose. Basically, Doofenshmirtz is hacked off at Darth Vader for stealing his idea for the Doof Star, the Doofenshmirtz mini Death Star shaped laser nutcracker device, which Vader then stole the schematics for and oversized it to the size of a small moon battle platform, hence the Death Star. And basically, the main second story to this episode is that Phineas's older sister Candace and two of the neighbourhood kids, Buford and Baljeet from the original series, are Imperial stormtroopers that are obsessed with being given the chance to actually bust some rebellion activity nearby. But their commanding officer, the Imperial officer, keeps giving them the order to find Darth Vader's new socks instead, much to Candace's annoyance. As with any Phineas and Ferb episode, there's quite a few catchy songs in this special as well, which I'll go over in another video at some point. Now, this special is available both as a whole thing and as two split episodes of the normal series on Disney+. However, in the two split episodes format, it kind of loses a couple of scenes just after the We Love Tatooine song at the end of part 1 of the episode, because of the way it has to split in half for the two episodes to work. But basically, Doofenshmirtz's new plan is the Sithinator, a Doofenshmirtz Inator-style device that will give him the power of a true Sith Lord, since Doofenshmirtz is fully lacking in the old midi-chlorians department. However, during the attempt to reunite the Death Star plans disc with R2-D2, Phineas and Ferb have infiltrated the Death Star, and Ferb accidentally gets caught in a blast of the Sithinator while rescuing Perry the Platypus from being frozen in carbonite. This leads to a Darth Maul-inspired Ferb makeover, complete with the red and black face tattoos and the spiked-up hair resembling Maul's Zabrak horns. He then gets into a lightsaber fight with Phineas on the Death Star, while Isabella, the sort of Han Solo equivalent of this storyline, is arguing with the Firestorm Girls, the equivalent of the Fireside Girls Girl Scout troop that Isabella leads in the main series, about the fact that she used to be a really good pilot about, transporting people around and such like, but now she's a smuggler like Han Solo and such like. This eventually leads to a confrontation between Isabella and her rival Han Solo in the bar of the Rebel Alliance base on Yavin 4, during the time of the main Rebel Alliance fleet is attacking the Death Star, which then ends up with both Han and Isabella deciding to go and rescue their respective friends. This is how Darth Vader got shot out of the Death Star trench in the original movie, by Han Solo and Chewbacca coming back to rescue him at the last second. Well, rescue Luke, not Vader anyway, but still. And then pretty much the same thing happens with Doofenshmirtz, except he gets away in Perry the Platypus's Platypus shuttle, while Perry manages to get away with everybody else on board Isabella's ship, the Centennial Chihuahua, which is obviously based on Pinky the Chihuahua, the little pink dog that is Isabella's pet from the main series, and unbeknownst to most is actually a government agent like Perry the Platypus. But eventually, Candace and Phineas do reunite, and Candace turns against the Empire when she realises that her brother is part of a Rebel Alliance she was so desperate to destroy. And basically, all's well that ends well. And for those wondering, yes, Doofenshmirtz's daughter is also in this storyline, because she's the Blue Twilight Vanessa that was singing in the cantina on Tatooine. And also, Major Monogram is now Major Hologram because of the blue hologram comlink system that he uses, as per Star Wars tradition. That more or less concludes my look back at the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars special. Sorry I've jumped about all over the place with my description of this episode, but again, it's been a while since I watched it, so some details may be misremembered. But it's available on DVD and on Disney+, so you've got no excuse to not watch it if you're a fan of a franchise, either Phineas and Ferb or Star Wars. I'll come back to the Marvel crossover another time, but for now, I've been Soundblaster1987. Thanks again for watching. My next vlog in June will be a top 10 list of which toy lines would be best to match with which Disney franchises. For example, Mattel, McFarlane, that kind of thing. Till then, my next Star Wars video will be Black Series, Third Sister Reva from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Till then, till all are one, and may the Force be with you, always.